Hi everyone, Emma here. I am working on this necklace that I showed you earlier that I started with the Superduo, and I also finished the closures for a few of my bracelets, so I thought I'd give you an update. And I also have a visitor that I wanted you to say hello to. Hi kitty, what you doing? Is it bedtime? I think so. Are you tired? Poor kitty. He comes and gets me to go to bed. It's midnight. I thought I'd, say hello and while I'm doing this, because this is starting to really turn out amazing, so I'll probably redo it in a somewhat of a tutorial to show you. So let's let me go ahead and show you the other bracelets first. So this one here was I think from Beataholic, and this is what I ended up doing for, that looks out of focus, there we go. So I took one of those, I think somebody mentioned they're called silkies, which it's great that they pointed that out to me, because I got these in a like a mix, and I sorted them out. There was a bunch of different kinds, so I just sorted them out. I really like them because you can really do some neat things with them, and I'm just learning what kind of things you can do. But I think that turned out really cool because it took the two ends and brought it together. So I did that on both sides. And look it, and I think it just looks gorgeous with this bracelet. There's that one. Then there was this frilly ginkgo, and so what I did was I took the ginkgos, and I know that they don't quite fit this way, but I kind of wanted it to come, first of all, I wanted this part rounded, and then I wanted it to go from big to small, so that's why I did it that way. And it actually turned out really good. Now if I were to, this was my first try on this, if I were to do this again, just make sure it's in focus there. If I were to do it again, what I would do is these seed beads, I would bring them out of this hole here, so around this big bead. I put them inside the big bead, and you can kind of see them curling in. And at first it looked okay because it kind of went with the line of beads, but and this side doesn't look too bad, but the next side, wait till you see. It's all, actually, you know what, I think this was the first side that I did. So this side I did inside, and then this one I did outside. So actually it looks better inside. But here's the thing, this was the first bracelet that I did. My tension was really off. You can see how this one's all kind of scrunched up. So yeah, so maybe when I get to the next ones, it'll be in better shape. And then for this one, I just had to show you, I'm so excited. This turned out really nice. I love these picot, looks like little stars. I guess the Star of David. But so yeah, that turned out super cool, and these buttons are incredible. So that's those there. So let's go ahead and take a look at these guys. So this, you start out with the, let me bring it up a bit. That seems very dark. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so you start with your Superduos, and you string them on, and then you add these little 3/15 on the tops and the bottoms as you're stringing it. So I did the full string. Now this was I was going to say this was a recipe, a delicious recipe. Don't forget your sugar. No, this was a design for a an anklet. And so I wanted to make a necklace with it. Now it was done with pips, and somebody mentioned that they used pips on theirs and it turned out really nice too. I wanted to use these daggers. I actually bought these. These are check glass daggers, and I bought them from Michael's, and I had like a whole bunch of them. They were super cheap, probably cheaper than you'd pay if you bought them from a supplier. So anyway, I wanted to use them. Initially I wasn't too sure, like once I started putting them together, I wasn't too sure about the turquoise and this color here, but I'll show you what I did was I went ahead and added Superduos in these little spaces. I am going to do a necklace, and the reason why I added this embellishment is because as a necklace, now maybe if I held the strands kind of on the bottom, maybe if I held the strand from a top hole, it would be better. But watch what happens, and maybe you guys can tell me what I'm doing wrong here. But I think that's all it is. I need to string it, but look. So here's the necklace, and it's folding over in that section. This doesn't look in focus here. There we go. Yeah, so it doesn't sit right as far as I can tell. So I think what I wanted to do, and once I got going on this anyway, I wanted to add some more opaque colors, so like the gold Superduos, and I have some bicones. I think I'm going to use these blue. Let's see if I can get that in better focus here. I think I can, I think it will look good with the blue bicones in between the top hole of the Superduo. I do have some clear AB crystals that might look good as well. But I think that the blue really makes it pop. Yeah. So I guess I'm hoping too, as I string the top, that maybe it won't fold over. But you know, the more I think about this, my strain is down the middle here. So I might have to go ahead and string the top to hold it in place. So I thought I'd just go ahead and work on this while I'm talking to you. I took a look at it probably came up as the first video, the single, oh, Kitty's going after my thread. Not good. Let me hide that. The video that has the blue, is that a knot? No. Memory wire bracelet. It came through before the other one because it was shorter. But I reviewed it, like I review my videos after I upload them just because they take so long to upload. So I just go ahead and review them. And then if I need to delete them, and like if there's stuff in there that's, I don't know, I haven't run into that issue yet, so I don't know what I would be looking for, but I don't know if I would offend somebody or something like that. So anyway, I review them, and I was listening to it, I'm like, I sounded really negative, so I am apologizing right now. I was talking about the yoga class and stuff, and I am really, really sorry. That's so not my nature. And I feel like a spoilt brat sometimes when I complain about something that I am very fortunate to have. So I apologize to all of you for that. And again, I try and make this fun and exciting and for you guys, but you know, sometimes I I'm human. I'm infallible. And, yeah. So that, I have a cat just sitting here. Silly boy. Is it bedtime? So the cats have been fighting over bed territory. And our black cat used to sleep at the top of the stairs. We have like a wooden filing cabinet that's like a half one, only 3 drawers, so it's like at your hip height. And they started like kind of taking possession of it, so I went ahead and put a bed there, and he sleeps on that. Well, they fight maybe once a month. They start fighting over territory. So, and you can always tell, like if we're not around and they fight, you can tell because there's our one cat is white and he sheds his fur when he fights. And when you watch them, it's more like play fighting. But so you get like these massive tufts of fur all over our brown carpet. So especially on the top of the stairs, the landing, you'll come home and there's these tufts. And somebody's sleeping in a bed that they never sleep in, right? So the funny thing is, the black cat is the one that usually wins all the time. And he that was his bed, and he's no longer sleeping there, which we kind of don't like because we like that they sleep close by at night with us, right? I mean, they're our friends. We want to be around them. And it's kind of reassuring that, you get up to the bathroom and stuff, and there he is, right? So, yeah, he's been sleeping in the basement, which kind of bothers me. And it's like, I don't like relegating anybody to the basement. We don't have, like, it's a finished basement, but it's not, like, we do have a bedroom, and that's probably why he sleeps in the bed down there. But, yeah, so now I went and put a bunch of beds in different places. I hid one in my closet and hoping that he'd come and find it. And he has. I showed him where it was. So today, at the bottom of my bed is an old sewing machine stand. And I have a bed on there. And my white cat, this guy here, he usually sleeps there at night. And we came home the other day and the black cat was in that spot. He's never, ever, ever slept in that spot. I'm like, oh gosh, they've been at it again. Playing musical beds. So this is coming out really nice. Kind of feel like this is... Why my lighting is so... Could be just that my let's try that. I thought maybe since I had it enlarged, focus. There's a kitty cat licking my hand. What you doing? Silly boy. Yeah, cats are funny, eh? They try and hurt us all the time. If we're downstairs, they come and get us to go to bed. So funny. So, I did a ton of shopping last week at Art Beads, And I noticed they have a 25% off sale, but I just looked through it, and the stuff that I got for a lot cheaper. So, and that's been a while. I got those things. Kitty, no. Ah. He's really interested in the thread. I let him play with this kind of stuff here that the beads come on, and he's great. He plays with it, runs around. That's it. His brother eats it. Honey, go, shoo, shoo, shoo. There's a big kitty. You have to sit in your spot. So, tomorrow is a quiet day. We have massage. So, okay. I have to tell you this story. You know, it's funny. I try and think of stories to tell you guys, and sometimes they feel like maybe they're not that interesting. And then other times I just come up with ideas of something to tell you, and I think, oh my gosh, this is funny. I have to tell you this. So here goes. Last week at massage, so we go to the massage college, and they have nights, like clinic nights, so the students can practice their skills, and you get a professional massage for super cheap. And so yeah, so it's set up kind of like a hospital room, in the sense there's a bunch of massage tables, and then the curtains in between each massage table. So basically all that's separating you and your nakedness from the rest of the people are curtains, which is not a big deal. We're used to it, so it's not that big a deal. And the students are really respectful. So we started going Monday nights, and we don't usually go Monday nights. We usually go Friday nights. So it's a different clinical teacher. And this teacher is very I'm trying to think of a polite way of saying this. She's very bossy, which is fine. She has to be for the students, but I'm not one of your students. So the week before last, she came through, and I didn't realize she did this, but she opened the curtain and left it open through the whole treatment, which is over an hour treatment. And she did that so that she could see the students. And the problem with that is, because of COVID, instead of having different clinic times, like they would have one at 5 and one at 7, that kind of thing, so you have everybody come in at the same time to avoid, people being exposed to each other. Potentially, they have it staggered. Every 20 minutes a different client gets taken in for their treatment, and they finish at different times. So for the teacher, the fact that she had the curtain open means that clients could be walking by at any time. This still looks really blurry. Out of focus. So when I realized that she had done that, I talked to my wife about it, and I said, I don't know that I feel that comfortable about her having the curtain open like that. So I thought, I'm not going to say anything. Last week when I went, I could hear, you can hear like the curtain being drawn, right? It's on these little metal wheel hooks, right? So you hear this big noise. So she rips the curtain open, and then she asked me, "Oh, is it okay, Emma, if I open the curtain and leave it open?" I said, "Actually, no, if you don't mind, could you close it, please?" And she's like, "Why? Why do you want?" And I'm laying there in my nakedness, and the student's just like not saying anything, right? And I said, "Because my boobs are hanging out." And I was getting my back worked on, but they remove the sheets from your back. So being an old lady, I got old lady boobs. They hang off to the side, especially now that I lost so much weight. My student was like cracking up laughing, and the teacher goes, "What? I didn't hear you." So now I'm like, I wasn't angry, but I was kind of annoyed, and I yelled really loud, "My boobs are hanging out." There was two guys in the curtain next to me. They're like laughing. Everybody's laughing. The teacher's like, "Oh, okay." So she closed the curtain. I was what? So I asked the student, I said, "Are you going to get in trouble for that?" She's like, "You know what? Something like that, even if they did talk to me about it, I would definitely stand up for you and don't think that's right." But, and the other thing she does is she sneaks around. So she'll sneak in the curtain and observe the student. But in my opinion, you need to, one, ask my permission, and two, and they've always done that. They've always asked permission, and you can decline. And it's not a big deal. You have that right. So she sneaks in, and I don't know she's there, and then all of a sudden she'll say to the student, "Okay, your body mechanics you need to work on this, and you need to work on that." I'm thinking, holy crap, how long has she been here? So last week she did that, and it was really quiet, and I'm getting my massage, and I kind of whispered to the student, I said, "Is she still here?" She goes, "Yeah, she's still here." Okay. She's a sneaky one. I just tangled my, let me see if I can get this out a bit. Oh, I wanted to mention too about these daggers. Let me see if I can find one here. So there was one, and I don't know what I did with it. I put it somewhere. The tip. This is really weird. I'm kind of surprised that this is so dark. That's a little better. So this tip is missing. The other one that I had was like actually really pronounced, and I thought it was broken, but it actually wasn't broken. It was just not formed well. So just if you're using some of these, just to inspect them, because here's another thing I noticed. So there's this one here is kind of missing the tip as well. But check this one out. I didn't know. Like, this one's not even... Here's an example of the other one. Look at how tiny it is. It's hard to see. Here, maybe you can see better this way. There. So at first I thought it was, well, I guess it is off to the side, but still it's super skinny. So yeah, I guess like any beads, you have to go through and pick the good ones. I find that a lot with the Superduos. Oh, somebody went to bed. Got tired of waiting for me. He tries to sleep in the bed with me, and I am so allergic. And I can't help myself, so I let him sleep. And he puts his paw on my hand when he sleeps with me. So the next morning, I am sneezing like crazy and stuffed up. So I've been sadly shooing him away, and I have a bed for him at the end of the bed so that he can be close by. So what he does now is he comes to the bed and he waits on the landing until I actually get in the bed. And then he comes in the bed and he rubs up against me, and then he goes and lays down in the bed, his bed. So you know, that story just reminded me of another story. I should tell you guys my nursing stories. Those ones are funny. I don't know if I ever told you, I worked in the Veterans Hospital in Toronto, and I worked on the Alzheimer's unit. So it was a locked unit, and it was, I think, on the third or fourth floor, and they had the stairwell. I'm trying to think. I guess the stairwell would have been one of those locked doors where if a fire alarm went off, it would release so that you could, get everybody out. So you couldn't go through the stairs just to, like, if you wanted to use the stairs, you couldn't. Until, like, in an emergency, you could. So there was 2 elevators. It was a big hospital. So there was 2 elevators at like in the middle of the whole floor. And so we had a lot of families that would come and visit. So what they did was I keep wanting to say inmates. I was going to tell you an inmate story because I worked in a prison too. The veterans, they all had Alzheimer's or some form of dementia, memory issues, and wandering issues. So they had like these kind of watch band things on, and what would happen is it was set up to activate the elevator so that the doors wouldn't close. So what would happen was the families would go to leave, and they'd be standing in the elevator and the doors wouldn't close, and they're pressing the buttons, and they would say, "Oh, excuse me, nurse, can you tell me why the doors won't close?" And I'd look inside the elevator. It was usually one of my patients was standing behind all the family members, trying to hide. The person's like almost 7 feet tall. He's got his arms crossed, and he's like whistling and looking from side to side. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Don't look here. I'm just fading into the background. It was one of my patients that was standing in the elevator, so of course the doors wouldn't close. He couldn't figure out why the doors wouldn't close, but every day he would do the same thing. He would try the doors, the elevator. Thought he was going to sneak out with the families. He was so funny. And, it seems fitting that I talk about them because of, I guess in the States it's Veterans Day. We call it Remembrance Day here in Canada. Is on Wednesday, I think. Coming up anyway. Yeah, Wednesday. And he was a POW for years. So I just am amazed. He was just amazing, and such an amazing sense of humor. He would, like, I would, like, when I would find him in the elevator like that, that one's kind of small, and that one's super fat, but we'll use this one. And I'd ask him to come with me and stuff. He would always smile like he knew what he was doing, right? But I think that was just his coping, where, you know, he knew if he smiled, he wouldn't get into trouble. What did I do here? This looks weird. Oh, I forgot to put the thread through the one Superduo. Let me take this out. Hopefully it comes out properly. I knew it was going to do that. Yeah, he, a lot of the veterans, just out of ease, the families would, the clothes that they would give them to wear often were track pants or sweatpants and sweatshirts. It was a lot easier to manage than, say, pants and zippers and stuff like that. But so he, because he was a POW, he was used to I guess taking and hiding things. So, like, if they brought him a meal and there was utensils, he would save the utensils and hide them so that he could use it later to try and escape. And this is this gonna work? Did I do that again? What on earth? I did. Yeah, so he would hoard all the, like, I would find knives and forks and stuff like that. And then the one time, and he was incredible at hiding. I would look and look all over the unit for him, and I wouldn't be able to find him. And I'm like, it's a locked unit. Where could he go? There's no way. And I think he was really good at like moving around as I would look for him. So he might hide somewhere that I had already looked. And then, of course, I'm thinking, well, I've looked there. I'm not going to look again. That's the only thing I could figure he was doing. So the one time I was looking for him, and I found him in the bathroom, and I called out his name, and he had his back to me, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he didn't talk that much, so he didn't say anything. So I went up to talk to him and said, you know, what's going on? He turned around and he had his plastic wash basin tucked in his track pants, in the front of his track pants, because he was like hoarding it. So I said to him, and of course the track pants stretch, right? I said, do you have something that you want to put away? And he's like, no, I'm good. Like, I said, I don't know. I think there might be something hiding. He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I just kind of tapped on the plastic wash basin from the outside of his track pants, and he started laughing. He's like, busted. It's like, yes, I saw that. So this is looking pretty awesome. Yeah, he was a sweetheart. I love that job. I learned so much, and I just loved. I felt honored to be. It makes me really emotional to think about it. That these young guys went to another country and fought and died, and it's incredible. There's a knot near, maybe? There is, too. Let me cut that off. Another time we had one. I'm trying to figure out where this is from, where this came from. This thread here. We had another veteran that was a. I'm trying to figure out where to put my thread here. Okay, let me put it down and up. Yeah, we had another veteran that was a captain of a submarine, and he was so bossy. He was really sweet, but he was used to giving orders. So he would go around and give orders all the time to the other veterans. So one day, the two of the veterans were sitting on the couch watching TV, and he comes running in, and he's yelling, "There's a fire! Everybody out! Everybody out! There's a fire!" And he thought there was a fire on the submarine. And that's like, if you know anything about that, that's any sea vessel, it's scary to have a fire. I wonder if he had survived one or something. I'm sure he did if he was talking about it. Okay, so I think I'm in the right position now to come. So now I want to come through the top holes. And I'm all tangled again. Okay, come through the top one here. Let me bring this out because it's getting out of view. Yeah, so he came running and was yelling to these two guys. And I'm kind of watching from a distance. Often I didn't interfere because it usually resolved itself, so I just let things happen. So he's yelling at them to get out, that there was a fire on the submarine, and they ignored him. So he was getting louder and angrier. And finally he goes up to them and he says, "I want your number. I'm putting you on report." Like this. The one veteran turned to the other and he says, "I thought the war was over." Oh my gosh, I'm trying not to laugh. It was so funny. These guys were hilarious. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and they had a barber shop on the first level, so I used to bring some of my patients down to get a shave, and because they had Alzheimer's, I stayed with them so that they wouldn't wander off. And the barber taught me how to shave them. It was so cool. And he kind of gave me a crash course on the, on the different shavers, because a lot of them have like electric shavers at the bedside. So And he showed me how to clean them and stuff like that. It was really neat. Yeah. And they always had like tons of volunteers coming to play music for them and take them for walks and take them for different kind of field trips and stuff like that. And they had an amazing garden. So yeah, it was really neat. Now these are kind of small compared to the Superduos. So they are, it's kind of bunching it, which as a necklace, it's actually not too bad. So, but you know, it's super loose. So I am thinking maybe at this point what I should do is finish off all these threads and take these out, but then take some soft flex and string those with the soft flex. It'll give it more structure, and then I can go ahead and add my my beads along the side and my clasp. So I'll go ahead and finish that, and I'll show you this tomorrow when I'm done. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Good night.